Good morning, friends and subscribers. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show called Prog Monster. So, we are dedicated here to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. Today will definitely be another form of rock music. So, we're going to be talking today about the series we're running for the month of March, in which we are choosing two albums that were released in the same year by one of my 31 favorite bands. So there's no restrictions here as long as it's rock music and I like the bands and they have to be two albums from the same year. That's the only restrictions. Also, I put them in the order that I kind of like them. So this one comes a little bit more for me than the Deep Purple one that went yesterday. The main reason is that most of the albums by this particular musician, a friend, or actually I think he was a cousin, one of my cousins had a bunch of his stuff, so I often used to, when I was down there for the 3 weeks, I would play this stuff because I liked it. And both these albums I like quite a bit. I never did go and buy any of this guy's stuff, and I think the main reason for that is that it's not easy to find. I have not found any of them. And there's never seemed to be any out or any even name, any albums in the name under his name. Of course, we're talking Elton John. Now, I haven't really liked any of Elton John's stuff that came out from probably the late 80s till now. Most of the stuff and almost all the stuff I like came out prior to 78. So his kind of classic golden era for him, I guess you might want to call it. So the two albums I've chosen today, of course, both came out in 1973. The first one came out in January of that year, and it's called Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. Yeah. A lot of his stuff is kind of quirky like that. Like the titles are kind of weird. The other album, of course, came out much later in the year. I actually will go look it up and see exactly when it came out so that we can be accurate. As accurate as we can be, that is. So the other album came out in October of the same year, 1973. That was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. This is a much more known album, like by title. Most people know this title primarily because the title was a big hit. The self-titled song from the album was a big hit. So the album is probably more recognizable than the first one, which is kind of a weird title, but I just want to, because I don't have a physical copy of the albums, I've called them up on my other computer so that I can kind of talk a little bit about what were the songs that were on here. So this one has arguably my favorite Elton John song, which is Daniel. I love this song. It's a bit of a ballad, I guess. It's definitely poppy as hell, but for some reason I really like, well, I love Elton John's voice, and he sings this song so perfectly and so well. Elderberry Wine is also on this album, a really good solid track. Midnight Creeper, which is kind of a weird song, but it's also on this side. So on the second side you have Having Mercy on the Criminal. I'm Going to Be a Teenage Idol. Yeah, maybe. And of course, there's a couple other songs in here that, and not so notable, but Crocodile Rock is on here. Another one of those top 3 or 4, 5 favorite Elton John. So it's got 2 of my 5 favorite Elton John songs on it. Crocodile Rock, of course, is poppy, but has a kind of a 1950-ish flavor to it. It sounds like a song that could be released during the same period as Rock Around the Clock. Yeah. So and I think it was designed that way. The story is kind of designed to be from the 1950s. So yeah, great album. Like it a lot. Of course, I'd love to have this, but yeah, if you don't see it around, you don't think about it while you're shopping. You're looking at stuff that you want, And if it's not there, you're not looking for it. But definitely, I guess I could go online and find it, try to order it that way, but I'm not a big, huge fan of online shopping. I prefer to go and find it myself. That's just the way I am. And maybe it's kind of quirky, but I'm not going to change it now. So the other album, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, this is much more known because of the title track, of course, and being the second of the two albums. So this one has quite a bit of quirky titles on it. I think the whole album is just a little bit quirky. So on the first side, they only have 3 songs, but the first one's quite long. It's called Funeral for a Friend's Love Lies Bleeding. Kind of a weird song. Candle in the Wind, of course, everybody knows that song. Very ballad-like, so kind of like a Daniel-like song. But I never liked it as much. It's not a terrible song. It's not for me. The next track on it, Benny and the Jets, I liked quite a bit more. I don't know if it's a top 5 Elton John song for me, and I don't think it is. I do like it. It's a little different than most of his stuff from that time period. Then you have, of course, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I like this one maybe a little bit more than Benny and the Jets, but I still don't think it's a top 5 Elton John song for me, but still a strong one. Then you get some really quirky songs on the rest of the album. You've got This Song Has No Title. Kind of stupid name for a thing. Gray Seal is not too bad. Jamaica Jerk Off. Yeah, okay. And then Seeing That Movie too. So it's just the back side too. There's also a third side on this album and a fourth side. So this is kind of a double. Well, it is a double album. But that side a little bit weird. Sweet Painted Lady, and then you got Dirty Little Girl. All Girls Love Alice. Okay. Just some strange stuff on this album. And this one also has Saturday Night Is All Right for Fighting, which is on the very last side of the fourth side. This is another top 5 song for me. This could actually, I don't know if it's my favorite. Probably Rocket Man's probably my favorite Elton John song. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it. But this one, I love it a lot. Then you've got Roy Rogers, Social Disease and Harmony to finish out the album. Yeah, just some quirky titles, that's all. So today's pick, Elton John. The two albums we chose, of course, kind of quirky in their name. Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player, and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road were the 2 albums that were both released in 1973 from Elton John. I hope you've liked this episode. If you have, please hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell. If you want to leave any comments about Elton John or about the 2 albums or about anything I've said, you can put that in the comment section below. And I look forward to seeing you again. Have yourself a good day and take care.